Surata Sundara Duti Kadamba Sanipita Sada Hidaya Kande Surato Vasachinandana Naham Vipro Nachanarvati Na Pipashu Na Sutro Naham Badi Nachariyapati No Gunasto Jativa Kintu Padya Nikhila Pavanda Pranama Dade Vabi Bhakti Padakalayo Dasha Dasanurasa. Very happy to be missed all of you. My Dhanavad Pranam to all of you. I was told to speak about Jagannath Pastimes. And I think I'm traveling everywhere. I think this is one of the biggest Jagannath. Jagannath Guruji Shubhadra Maharani ki Jai. Ilashale Divasaya Nitaji Pranamatmani Balabhadra Subhadhyabam Jagannathaya Kijana Kripa Parava Sadala Jalada Sri Juju Rama Mari Jama Pankir Bhangma Sradha Shikha Jagamitu Jagannath Swami Nayapatagami Bhavati. So, among all these spiritual science, spiritual philosophy, Bhagavad philosophy is the highest. As Bhagavatam Gita says, Dharma Projita Kaitava Nirmatsaranam Satam. All these in front of Bhagavad Dharma, Vaishnav Dharma, Krishna Bhakti, others are little, so many other Dharma, but this is the best. Now, because we know the Supreme Lord is one and He has many names, and Krishna is one of the name of the Lord. God can have any number of names. Doesn't matter how many names, it's not enough. And we recite His name to address His potency. Like we say Krishna, Sarvagasa, in all attempt. Now, according to our Siddhanta, Bhakti Siddhanta, Ramananda Rai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that we can have relationship with the Lord. As a servant, as a friend, and Krishna can be our children. Krishna can be also beloved. Like Hanuman was servant, like friends, Arjun, Sudam, Damda, Sudam. Then Yashodamananda, Ella Brajavashish, the Brajagopi, others beloved. And devotees sometimes they want to relate to the Lord or want to have personal association. There's so many nice pastimes. For example, Hanuman, he was a servant of the Lord. So one may say that how Hanuman enjoyed, but he served wholeheartedly, at the same time, simple way. He has no ego. So that is Das Bhav. There's so many devotees of the Lord, but sometimes we discriminate based on certain worldly system. So there was one devotee, you all know, he was worshipping Jagannath, Das Bhavi. He was a scheduled caste. So he had desire to see Jagannath. In his, he had a mango orchard. So during the mango season, in India still mango season is continuing. You can see some mango in northern India. From northern Himalaya belt, Malda, good mango. So he got his mango, he came to Puri, he wanted to offer to the Lord. As you all know, in Puri, the pujaris, pandas, they don't allow such things. So he was carrying the mango to offer to Jagannath. In the gate he was caught. Hey, Gauri, why you are going? He said, I want to go in to offer these mangoes to Jagannath. So, you are a scheduled caste, what you are going to offer? You give it to me, I'll offer. And the pandas, they take them and go. Maybe they offer or not offer, at least they leave first. So I said, Gauri, give it to me, we'll offer. No, I'll not give it. I want to go directly to Jagannath and offer. And Panda says, we'll not allow you to go, because you are scheduled caste, we don't know whether they have taken a bath or not, what actually happened. Give it to us. Das Baba says, I'll not give you. I want to offer that. So the partner, they said, okay, you want to offer or not, here is your full stop. You have to stay here. And if you have such a, what you call, spirituality, you offer from here. That's why I said, okay, if you don't allow me to go inside, I'll offer from here only. So, that's why he took one mango and he was throwing, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. So all his mango patties, everything from his basket, bamboo basket, every mango he threw to Jagannath. And then Panda, they said, let me figure out where it gone. So they found out where it is there. So they went to Jagannath, they saw mangoes are there next. Jagannath eating mango. So from that time, Das Pavri became very famous. Such a great devotee. Though outwardly he was not respected. But so, in devotion has no boundary that caste, creed, culture, there is nothing. Devotion is the main thing. So here Das Pavri is famous. One time one devotee, he wanted to offer something to the Lord. In Puri, everybody having shop, everybody wants to offer something. But who wants to take? So, in the evening time, Jagannath Baladev, Krishna Balaram, they remember that devotee. So, they dress like a North Indian boy, young boy. They wore very nice clothes with nice jewelry. After this 8:30 Sayanarti, they dress like a little royal with less clothes in the body, like a royal family. Both came out, they went to one pan shop. So both they took pan and came out. But after 2 days, the third day, that the Panbala, next to the Panbala, his friend, he said that, look, these two boys look like they're from good family, rich family. But I see you charge for your pan. But nowadays you are not charging for these two boys. What happened? No, actually I thought they are from a rich family. I was afraid to ask them money. No, they have money, why they'll not give you? Next time, tomorrow they ask you, come, I want money. It's okay. Because sometimes in India, big people, the poor people, they are afraid to ask something, I said, okay, tomorrow when they come for pan, we'll ask money. So third day when these two boys came and took pan, then they're going. Then Panwala says, hey, where is my money? This is the third day you are coming and taking pan. You're not giving money. He said, you have never asked. The last 2 days we are taking. Today also I came. Actually, if you would have tell us that you need money, I could have bring money. But I thought you were giving free. No, how can I give free every day? Give my money. Okay, tomorrow we'll bring the money. So, no, tomorrow what is the guarantee you will come? If you don't come, my money is lost. Then these two boys said, okay, tomorrow we'll come and give money. If you don't believe, then you do whatever you want. No, you have a lot of jewelry, you want your necklaces. Why not you deposit this clothes and necklace? Okay, take this. So, these two boys they deposit. One was a little white, one was a little blackish. And then next day morning, Pujari saw that jewelry is missing, clothes are missing. So they inquired, why these clothes and jewelry coming? They found out with this nearby pan shop, they hear, hey, you have stolen this jewelry from Jagannath temple. I have not stolen. So what happened? These two boys came to my place. Two boys came. Then there was inquiry. One head pujari who used to do what you call Sringar, or Sandhya Sringar, he said, I have seen two boys coming out of the temple. I have not coming in, but I have seen coming out. So he was a witness that these two boys were going. So then from that time, they made sure that every day they offer Jagannath pan. In Puri there was no system of offering fund. So that's how. One time we can purchase Krishna through bhakti. Srila Prabhupada said when I was in Jhansi, he left home in the 1952. He came 1969 to USA, 70. He said nothing was working. For me it took 22 years to make, perfect. Nobody was believing me. So through bhakti you can purchase Krishna. Only Bhakti Amam Abhyana Vijavan. Kepal Bhakti Tilabha Chaitanya Gosai. Dhane ko le pandite Chaitanya nahi paye, Keval Bhakti Tilabha Chaitanya Gosai. So we can purchase through bhakti. So there was a devotee in Puri, he was very famous, Raghu Rakhit. All were knowing this, he was a very good devotee of Krishna. So, such a great devotee, one time in dream, Krishna came. Prabhu, I want to make friendship with you. Prabhu, I am Krishna, I want to make friendship. I am a small devotee, you are a lot of the devotees. How can have relationship between small and big man? There can never be relationship. Because friendship exists between the equal. How the small timer can become friend of Lord Krishna? Prabhu, it's not possible for me to become friend because it's look like you are big man, I am too small to become your friend. No, Raghu, I want you should become friend. So Krishna insisted that you become friend. So how many want to be friend of Krishna? Okay. Haribo! Haribo! So it's Raghu was reluctant. He didn't want to become friend of Krishna. He said it's not possible. Then one night Krishna came himself. Raghu, now you're my friend. We have to do some duty. So what I have to do? Actually, I like jackfruit. And I want to eat jackfruit. He said, there's jackfruit. Tomorrow morning I'll get you jackfruit. What is the problem? No. Jackfruit is there in the garden. And I want to steal. I have it. Then Raghu said, I know you have a habit of stealing. But you are strong. You're from Gokul, you have taken a lot of butter. I have not taken. I'm a lean, thin guy. In stealing, sometimes you get caught, and then will be big problem. So you can. So Raghu, you don't believe me? I am Krishna. Nothing will happen to you. I'll take care of it. If they beat you, I'll come in the front. But rest assured, nothing will happen. Raghu, what I have to do? No. The middle of the night, we will go to the royal family's garden is there. Jackfruit garden, we will go there. Raghu said, this is very bad. Stealing something like that from royal family. Anything happen, there will be serious problem. So, no, Raghu, you come with me, you are a friend. What you do, I'll do maximum. And you do minimum. So, he took Raghu inside the garden. Middle of the night. So Raghu was afraid. So Raghu, this is not a job of a devotee. You are telling me to steal something. So somehow Raghu, he was not happy, but he went inside because of Krishna's. So he said, Raghu, what you do? You go up. I stay in the down. And I tell you, this jackfruit is very good. You cut it and I'll just catch it. And that's it, done. And I'll make sure there's no noise, so security will not know. So Raghu was pushed to go inside that tree. And he cut the tree, cut the jackfruit. And as soon as Raghu threw, Krishna disappeared. So now it's very big problem. It made a huge noise. And security came. And security caught Raghu. Then security said, Raghu, everybody knows you are a great devotee. Why you have to steal jackfruit? It's such a huge jackfruit, what you will do? If you need few jackfruit, you could have told king, anybody could have, you are such a big devotee. Anybody will give you some jackfruit. What is your problem? No, you don't know what the problem is. You don't know what happened to me. I am blackmail. Who is blackmail? You don't know. That black guy, you don't know. Okay, whatever it is, you go tomorrow, I'll produce before the king and you tell whatever you want to tell. The next day, the security has taken Raghu to king. Say, Raghu, what happened to you? You are such a great devotee, but you came to our garden. And you could have told us, we could have given you one jackfruit. What is your problem? Right? If you request you, my people, they would have given you one jackfruit. One big one. No, you don't know what actually happened. Then, as a king, he gave, his devotee, he gave very patience hearing. So, Raghu, what a problem? Actually, the Krishna came in the dream. He made it offensive. I told him I don't know. But he took me, pushed me in your garden, and he told the actual incident. Well, I told, no, I cannot. No, he said, jackfruit is heavy, better you go up, I will go down. As soon as I told the jackfruit, he disappeared. But luckily, king could understand. This is true. That he's such a great devotee. Why he should come? He never hears, doesn't have sense. Everybody knows Jagannath is very good, beautiful. Then Raghu says, you are such a nice devotee, Krishna is so kind. King was in tears. And how? He reciprocated with it. From that time, everybody knows in Puri that Jagannath likes jackfruit. So these are beautiful, many pastimes. Many beautiful, sweet pastimes are there.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So first of all, my humble obeisance to all the assembled devotees here. Vancha kalpatarubhais, kripa sindhubhais, patitana bhavanebhyo, vaishnavebhyo namo. Ananta koti Vaishnavandaki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakya, Chakshunamandam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jagannath Baladeswara Maharani ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Very happy to be here. This is my first time in Berlin. I'm so happy to be here amongst all of you devotees at your very special Wednesday program. So I will continue with Jagannath pastimes, what Prabhuji was saying. But I would like to start with a personal experience that I had with Jagannathji, because we have been worshipping Jagannathji at our temple in Visakhapatnam for the last 26 years. When we were in the US, when we were asked by our Guru Maharaj to open a center in South India, in Visakhapatnam. So, I'm a Gujarati, born in Bombay, brought up in Hyderabad, but I was not that great in Telugu speaking. But on our Guru Maharaj's insistence, since he asked us to open a center in Vizag, we flew down to Delhi, and from there we drove. We didn't know what is this city Visakhapatnam, and those days there were no Google Maps and all. It's in 98, 99. So we had to go to the railway station. There they used to sell those maps where you can open up and then find out. That's how we reached Vizag, this city called Visakhapatnam, and then a long story how we rented a small place and then we started a center. So then we thought we should have a deity to start an ISKCON center. So usually whenever there is an ISKCON center, they begin with either Gaur Nitai or Jagannath, because Radha Krishna worship is a little bit more elaborate and it has to be done without any mistakes. But Jagannath is very merciful and so is Gaur Nitai. So we were deciding between, shall we start with Jagannath or shall we start with Gaur Nitai? Then I was telling my husband that maybe we should have Jagannath deities because Visakhapatnam city is right on the bank of Bay of Bengal. We are right on the beach. And Jagannath Puri is also on the beach. and we are geographically also very close to Jagannath Puri. Then we thought, why not we start with Jagannath? So then we brought Jagannath on the Snan Yatra day from Puri, and we started worshipping them. And of course, there's one other reason Jagannath is very special to me, because when I walked into the world of ISKCON in the 1990s as a school-going girl, my first attraction to ISKCON was Jagannath. Because we are Gujaratis, we are used to worshipping Laddu Gopal. It comes naturally to us. We used to do Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama chanting and worshipping Laddu Gopal, and that was a common practice. But Jagannath concept was very new to me. So for the first time when His Grace Arunachal Prabhu, who is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada and my Siksha Guru, he told me the pastimes of Jagannath, I was very much amazed. I was part of a summer camp where he narrated those pastimes, and since the temple didn't have accommodation for Grihastha couples, so the couple was staying at our house. So we got a lot of association with him. So every day it became the most attractive part at the breakfast table. We used to wait like what Prabhuji is going to tell us today. And he used to tell such mysterious and amazing pastimes of Jagannath, and we used to get mesmerized, like we were frozen. Even the food which we used to put in our mouth, we can't chew. We are shocked, and he used to tell us, all the very, very special pastimes of Jagannath, which you probably wouldn't even get it in any books, because he himself resided in Jagannath Puri for many years, and his wife hails from that area. So he had access. Jagannath Maharaj ki jai. So he had access to many of the pandas in Jagannath Puri, and we know these Jagannath pastimes are every day noted down in Madala Panjika, just like we have a diary or a journal which we write every day. This is what happened today, this is how my day happened. They have Madala Panjika, where every day they write down what happened in Jagannath temple in Puri. How many of you have visited Jagannath Puri temple? How many of you have? So you can't see those because they bury them, they dug mud and they bury them inside. And the burying started because during the British invasion, and when the British were ruling, they were manipulating the Madala Panjika. They got translated Madala Panjika in wrong ways because they didn't want Jagannath to get so popular, and they were actually trying to steal those records. So that's why they have dug them deep and all. But then there are many old pujaris who themselves have witnessed those pastimes. And my Siksha Guru had access to them. He used to talk to them. So he used to tell such amazing pastimes which probably nobody have heard. So from childhood I was very attached to Jagannath. And after my Siksha Guru left, I did order. Those days we had Walkmans with tape records. I don't know of this generation if they have seen that tape records, cassettes.
Yes.
And I used to keep hearing that Jagannath pastimes so many times that if you keep hearing it all the time, then the reel comes out,
Mm-hmm.
And then my father used to take a ball pen and again put it. And after some time, when I used to keep running to him that the reel has come out, after some time, he told me, okay, my dear one, now I can't repair it, it's irreparable. Now you better order another one. So that much attached I was to hear Jagannath's pastime. Then I thought, fine, this is a good opportunity. Maybe we both will start worshipping Jagannath. So we brought Jagannath and we started worshipping. And then slowly the center started. I mean, we were only like the pujaris, the prasadam cooking, the temple president, the sweeper, everything, all in one we used to manage. And then slowly, one by one devotees got added and the temple was flourishing nicely, the center was flourishing nicely. And then after many years, we started the center in 1999. And it was sometime in 2009, 2010. One day Jagannath came in my dream and he said, everybody goes out on Rath Yatra. Won't you arrange a Rath Yatra for me? Won't you take me out? So in the morning I came to my husband and I said, Prabhu, I got a dream like this and Jagannath is saying that won't you take me out? Won't you have a procession for me? How long will you keep me inside the temple? So then my husband was like, I mean, we can do it, but having a Rath Yatra is a costly affair and we are a growing center. So how will we get the money for buying the Ratham cart and all? So we were just having a serious discussion. It was sometime in the morning at around 10 o'clock. We were discussing how it's not practically possible to afford to have a cart and all. You wouldn't believe it, dear devotees, but my cell phone rang, and there was one lady on the other side of the phone from Middle East, and she said, Mataji, how are you? I said, yes, I'm doing well. He said, I just called to tell you that I have a cousin in London, and he's got his first salary, and he's very attached to Jagannath. So he wants to donate this first salary. Can you do something for Jagannath with this salary? And I said, yeah, I can, yes. And then I just told her the whole dream, and she said, wow, this sounds very nice. So then after putting the phone, I ran back to my husband. I said, look, Jagannath has arranged, and the lady is going to send this money. And my husband said, well, with that money, we can't even buy the wheel of the cart. So how will we have the Ratham? And I mean, I didn't have that many financial calculations. I was like, okay, fine, have a Rath Yatra. Then he said, look, this is what it costs to have a Radham, have a canopy, have it transported from Sholapur, get it painted. This is all it cost. Then I said, okay, but if I try and raise that fund, will you allow me to have a Rath Yatra? He said, why not? I'll be very happy, but how will we get that fund? Then I called the lady back, the Middle East, and I told her this is what happens. And I said, are you in? Let's both of us try and raise the funds. She said, okay, fine, I'm in. Let's try. So then we started. She started on her side, contacting all her contacts. I started from my side, contacting all my contacts. And Jagannath was so kind. Within 45 days, we rose the whole amount. And then we sent the money, and the Rath Yatra cart was ready. And then fine, the Rath Yatra cart was ready. The Rath cart came from Sholapur, all painted, ready. We printed the invitation cards, and everything was wonderful. Now the second challenge was, we were thinking, will the people come? Because we were very new to Vizag, and there is a Rath Yatra happening maybe from more than 100 years in the Purna market area, where thousands of people attend the Rath Yatra. So will they come to our Rath Yatra? Because we are very new, ISKCON is new in Visakhapatnam city. Then my husband said, well, whatever it is, it's not about who comes or not. We are here, and we take our Jagannath on a city ride, and that's about it. And I said, fine, we just have to do our endeavor. Krishna is the one who gives the result. So we printed the invitation card. Even I myself personally went door to door, distributed the cards. Devotees went around, we distributed, we invited everybody. We invited all the business people or whatever, everybody, and we were patiently waiting. Now we were all ready and set. We were supposed to have Rath Yatra at around 5:30 in the evening from the marketplace. And just around 2 o'clock, it started raining. Very heavily. It was raining cats and dogs. And it looked like the whole program is going to be flop because it was raining so badly. In that rain, nobody will come for Rath Yatra. And I was standing at the balcony of the temple guest house, and I was crying. I said, Jagannath, how can you be so cruel? I mean, am I doing something for my personal? I just love you, and you came in my dream, and you said you wanted to have a Rath Yatra, and now you do this to me, I'm never going to talk to you. Never going. I was like so upset, And I was telling my husband, look, Prabhu, and he was just like very cool, and I said, how can you be so cool? Why? I mean, we made all the preparations, everything, and it's raining now. He said, well, it's not in our hands. What can we do? And I was like, and I was not even praying or not even chanting that, I was simply angry on Jagannath that you shouldn't have done this. We made all the arrangements for you to take you out, and now look, because of the rain, now we can't do anything. So 2:30, 3:30, 4. It kept raining, 4:30. Now we have to go where our temple is in the marketplace. It takes 20 minutes. So now we said, okay, now we have to go. So we went, we took Jagannath with the umbrella, put him on the cart and all, and now just few of us. By 4:30, 4:45, the rain started slowing down. It completely stopped. Absolutely. And now what happened? Because it rained so badly, people couldn't go to the Purna market Ratha because it's very far. So they thought this is ISKCON Ratha is nearby. So people started flowing in, and in within 35 minutes it was more than 1,000 people. And I thought, oh, I'm so sorry, Jagannath. This is what was your plan? I couldn't understand. And then everybody came. And then I was like in tears and crying, standing in front of the Radham car. So I remember my assistant, she had told me that, what do you think will you define as a success of this Rath Yatra? You've been working hard, like pamphlets, canopies, decoration. I said, I want that much crowd that people should push me. I mean, it was just like, I didn't mean it. People should push me out, that much crowd,
And then when I was standing and crying in front of Jagannath, people really pushed me and started pulling me. I thought, yeah, this is successful. So many people came and it was so wonderful. So then people...
Now we are having a 3 Ratham.
Yeah.
And this time there was over 20-25,000 people. Wow. 18,000 Dona Prasad. We gave 4,500 fruit day Prasad. It was not enough. We didn't know that there will be more turnover. And 2 chief minister family came, many MLAs, MLC, prominent citizens came. It was, and sang in the video. Jagannath Prabhu having huge program in the beach.
So it was like that, and then finally the Ratha carts moved and people were like, "Well, asking, are you crying?" I said, no, it's just because it was raining, I'm all wet. I didn't want to tell them that. So what all I did, the drama with Jagannath. And then finally it happened, and as Prabhu said, now Rath Yatra is one of the biggest functions of Visakhapatnam ISKCON temple. And that way Jagannath has reciprocated so sweetly with us. I mean, all these years, like we never had in the beginning Radha Damodar deities, we only had Jagannath, and we have so many such sweet pastimes. I remember when I first started reading the Jagannath Ashtakam in front of Jagannathji, then there is this first line, Kadachit Kalindi Tata. Oh, maybe you were initially reciting in Vrindavan with a flute in hand, and now you have come here. So when one day I run a school in Visakhapatnam, it's called Divine Touch. So every day in the morning, I drive to my school and I come back by mid-afternoon. So that morning I was standing in front of Jagannath and I was just reciting Kadachit Kalindi Tata, and I was just thinking, our altar is looking so dull, I mean, it's just like a white painted. It should be painted maybe like nice Govardhan, peacock, cows. It will look so nice. And that's it. And I just did pranam and then I left to the school. When I went to the school, my assistant told me, Mataji, many people are waiting to meet you. Whom should I send first? So she said, there's one lady, she has come from Hyderabad and she wants to meet you. I said, you send her first, not the local people. So the lady, Mrs. Uma, she walked in. She said, Hare Krishna. I said, Hare Krishna. She said, actually I live in Hyderabad, Mataji, and I'm following your classes regularly. I had come to Vizag, to my mother's place, and I thought I'll visit you. Very well. So what do you do? What's your profession? She said, actually, I had a request, if you don't mind. I'm a painter. And when I was at my mother's house, I used to actually teach painting. I have many students. But now I got married and I went to Hyderabad. Now since I'm back, can you give me any service in the temple? Can I paint anything? I said, yes, you can. Okay, this morning this thought has come to my mind. And I want the altar to be painted, with the Govardhan and peacock. And she said, I'll be so happy to do it. When can I start? I said, today? She said, yes, I can do that. And that evening she came with her students. And I think they took her 1 week or something and they painted the whole altar with peacock and nice Govardhan and all, So we have so many amazing pastimes with Jagannath. One time I was standing in front of Jagannath and I was thinking, because when we initially started the center in 1999, our Sunday feast had only 3 people, 2 gents and 1 lady. They were the only guests we used to have, and if they used to not come on some Sunday, I used to call them, what happened? I mean, now we have thousands of people coming. That is in 1999. Okay. So after that we changed like couple of rented places, and then finally we got our own place. Now when we shifted to our own place, it was a little bit far from the city. So I mean, that many people could not come because you have to have your own vehicle. There was no public transport up to Sagarnagar. So unless you have your own car, you can't come. So that many people were not turning up. Now that place has become like the very prime place. So I was telling my husband that probably we need to do something like, what should we do to make the people should come. So one day I was standing in front of Jagannath and I was just thinking that maybe if we have a Simha Dwaram, I don't know how many of you are South Indian here, but all the South Indian temples, they have something called a Dwaram with nice Gopuram and all. Then it looks like a temple. So I was just thinking that I was standing in front of Jagannath and I thought maybe we should have a Simha Dwaram, nice one, and then people will start coming. They will know this is a temple. So that evening when me and my husband, we were having a walk we have a 3 acres land where the Magnificent temple is now coming up. So we both were having a walk and I said, I don't know why, but when I was standing in front of Jagannath, I got this idea inspired. What do you think? Can we have a Simha Dwaram? Then he said, we can have it, but it's going to be pretty costly, So then I thought, okay, we cannot afford at this moment because we had just got the land and we had paid up for the land totally. So I thought, okay, fine.
But in somewhere my heart was not accepting. Then I thought, okay, I'll do my homework before I make second request to my husband. So I contacted 2 to 3 sculptors who can actually make the Simhadwaram. And then one of them was very reasonable guy. And he said total amount comes to this much, but we can start with, like, you give me 40,000 advance, I will bring all the colors and all. We can start it this way. So that's fine. I again went to my husband after a few days in the evening walk, I said, this is what the sculpture is saying. Maybe we can start like slowly, maybe, something like that. And he was telling, just forget about it. It's not possible at this moment, And I said, he was asking for advance 40,000. He said he will start, we can slowly pay in installments. So we both are talking like this. And the brown and brown uniform, the postman, speed postman, he just parked his cycle and he said there is a speed post. So I took the speed post and I signed it. And we are still talking and I'm just staring the envelope in front of him and I'm talking and I took it out. I took out the check. It was exactly for 40,000 rupees from Sankirtan Prabhu in Qatar. And I said, Prabhu, advance amount is ready. And then Prabhu was like, okay. You're Jagannath's pet. So whatever, it just happens. And then it just happened. We slowly did it and a beautiful Udharan came up. So Jagannath is really, really merciful. I mean, there are so many ways Krishna reciprocates. There's so many incarnations and avatars of Krishna. But in this particular form, Jagannath is so very merciful. Because in this form, he's thinking about Radharani. He's on his way to Vrindavan. He's meditating on Vrindavan pastimes. Sometimes with the mothers also. If they're too busy doing something, engaged in busily doing something, if the children go and ask something, the mother will say, okay, take it, don't disturb me, because they're very busy. Similarly, Jagannath is so busy meditating on Radharani and Vrindavan pastimes that whatever we ask, Jagannath is like, okay, take it. Very quickly he gives. He's so merciful and so compassionate he is. So yes, there are, I mean, I can go on and on, but I'll tell you one more pastime. This is very dear to my heart. Especially I was just thinking of this pastime when I saw the way you people take care of the Tulasi Maharani here. It's so difficult. Taking care of Tulasi, Jagannath, and this with the Maharani. So just like Tulasi, we take care with so much endeavor. Why? Because Tulasi is so dear to Lord Shri Krishna. I was just hearing from the local devotees here how they have to keep those lights on and save them from spider and keep changing the manure and so many things. But a devotee is ready to do that because they know how dear Tulasi is to Krishna. Like that, there are special leaves which are very dear to Jagannath. How many of you know about that leaves? Does anybody know? Very special favorite leaves of Jagannath ji. He loves when you offer those leaves. Yes?
I'm not sure. I think it's banana.
No.
Bilva.
No. Bilva is for Lord Shiva. Then I should tell you this story when you know how favorite those leaves were. There was this in Jagannath Puri, there is a system. Every day, once the offerings are done to Jagannath, the first offering of the garland, the prasadi garland of Jagannath, the prasadam, it's been taken to the king. And that has been the tradition from ages. So there was this one very, very pious king, and he was very, very faithful and loyal to Lord Jagannath. So once it so happened, he was very busy, engaged, playing a dice game with his minister. And at that time, a servant walked in and said, Sir, dear king, I have brought prasadam from Jagannath. So he actually got so engrossed in playing the dice game, the dice one was in his right hand. So as he was playing, he just took out his left hand and said, okay, you can give it. So his focus was on the dice game. He took the prasad from the left hand and he just, put it in his mouth. After a fraction of a second, he realized, what did I just do? How can I take prasadam with the left hand? That's offensive. I was supposed to leave the game and take the prasadam with the right hand. Why did I do that? So he became very morose and very sad. And for a couple of days, he stopped eating food. He was not talking to anybody. He had sleepless nights. Then the ministers asked him, what have you done to yourself? How long will you keep on lamenting, Looks like, you've got all black under your eyes and aren't you sleeping well? Then he said, well, we don't understand, there is something happening. What is happening? Actually, every day in the midnight, somebody is coming and attacking me. Then the minister said, well, you should have told me about it. I would have taken care of it. Why did you wait for so many days? So they immediately organized some yajna to get rid of that spirit which was disturbing the king. But nothing happened. The ghost kept coming and disturbing the king. Then they had tantric yajna, everything. Then they again asked the king, now is it okay? Are you able to sleep in the night? And he said, no. The ghost still opens the window in the middle of the night and with the left hand comes and tries and attacks me. Then the minister said, the only solution is I should sleep in your bedroom. You please sleep in some other room and let me get rid of this ghost. So that night, the minister slept in the room. And again the hand came in. The left hand came in and was trying to disturb the minister. The minister got up with his sword and he just cut the hand. And that hand, he kept it in his own hand the whole night. And next day morning, as soon as the king was awake, he ran to the king that now I have sought out your problem. Here is the hand. And as soon as he wanted to place the hand in the king's hand, he saw there is no hand. The king's left hand is cut. And he said, what is this happening? Then the king told him the whole story. He said, actually, this is all a drama. I just made up a story. Because I took Jagannath's prasadam with the left hand, I was so guilty. I wanted to cut my own hand, but I didn't have that much strength. So and if I would have tell you to do it, you wouldn't do it. So that is why I made all this plan. It was me who kept my hand inside the window so that you should cut it. Now I'm satisfied. I'm an offender. I should be punished. I've been punished properly. Now what to do with the hand? So they took that hand and they dug up in Jagannath Vallabha garden in Jagannath Puri. There is a special place called Jagannath Vallabha garden. Actually, previously, during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, it was a very beautiful place. There were lots of trees and lots of greenery. Now it's just like a matha. You'll just find some pots there. So they dug up the garden and they did give a samadhi to the king's hand. After a few months, from that place where they had buried the king's hand, a very beautiful tree came up and with very beautiful, fragrant smelling leaves. So now when the king used to come on a walk to Jagannath Vallabha gardens, he told the gardener, what is this species? I've never seen this species. The leaves are so fragrant. What is this? The gardener said, well, even I don't know. So many are growing here and there, but even I have never seen. I don't even know what's the name of this species or this particular tree. The king was saying, but this is very fragrant. The gardener said, then shall we start sending it to the temple so that they can make a garland out of it? The king said, better not, because we don't know what species this is. So don't you dare touch the leaves of this. So whatever else grows in the Jagannath Vallabha garden, you send it for Jagannath's service, but don't send leaves from this particular tree. Then he said, fine. After a couple of days, when the king again came for a walk, he saw there are no leaves on that. So he immediately called the gardener and said, did you pluck the leaves? He said, I didn't. I haven't. And then where did the leaves go? He said, I'm not sure. The king got very upset with the gardener and he was about to hang him. Then Jagannath comes in the king's dream and says, well, actually, it's me. I've been stealing those leaves because I like it. Because they came from your left hand, which was buried there, and you are such a sweet devotee. So I like it and I want you should offer it to me every day. So then from there on, it became a system that are called Dayanaka leaves. There is no name to it, but the Daya of Jagannath on this devotee, so they called to be Dayanaka. So from there on, they became like the favorite leaves of Jagannath. So now when they make the garlands or something, they have the Dayanaka leaves to make the Jagannath garland. So like this, Jagannath is so kind, and even the Puri kings at the same time were so amazingly faithful to Jagannath. They didn't have any false ego that we are the kings and all. They had that dasa bhava that we may be king materially, but ultimately we are the servants of Lord Jagannath. How many of you know the story of Purushottam Dev? Have you heard the story of Purushottam Dev? No? So in those days there was this king called Purushottam Dev. And if you know, when we have this Jagannath chariot procession, the one who is the head of the state is supposed to sweep the road, which is signifying that in front of the Lord there is nobody who is big, there is nobody who is small. Everybody is a servant of the Lord. So even till today, following that tradition, the king of Puri, even today the family of the king of Puri, the king comes and sweeps in front of the cart of Jagannath. So Purushottam Dev, he was marriageable age, so they fixed up an alliance with the daughter of the king of Kanchipuram. I don't know how many of you have been to Kanchipuram in South India, but it's a very, very beautiful place. So they fixed up an alliance Now once the engagement is done, then they come to see him, he goes to see them. So he invited his in-laws, the future in-laws, that please come and I have a very big festival happening in Puri. So his in-laws came with the princess and they were like, very happy to see the procession. But as soon as the procession began, they saw that their would-be son-in-law is sweeping the road. Then they got very upset. Then they told him, why are you doing the work of a Shudra? Why are you sweeping it? It is not your job, you are a king. He said, no, it's not about king or servant. Lord Jagannath is the Lord Jagannath, Lord of the universe, so I'm supposed to sweep in front of him. Then a very big argument started. He said, don't you say that? Ganesha is the Lord of the universe, not Jagannath. He says no Jagannath, he says no Lord Ganesha, and they both have an argument. And those days, what the argument used to end into? Fight. Let's have a fight. Whoever wins, that's it. So fine, let's go, let's have a fight. So he said, if you win, then your Ganesha will be in front and my Jagannath goes back. And if I win, then Jagannath goes in front and your Ganesha goes in the back. So fine, they both agreed and they decided a date and now there is going to be a war. So the problem is, Purushottam Dev's army, they were not very ambitious. If you see the history also, the kings of Orissa, they were never very ambitious. They never tried to expand their boundaries or something. They were all very spiritual. So now the army of King Purushottam, they forgot actually how to use the sword. They all rusted. Because most of the time they used to they know how to do kartal, Jai Jagannath. They can't use swords anymore. So now they said, King, what are we supposed to do? Then King said, but we have to save the pride of Jagannath. So now let's start practicing. So now they took out the swords and removing the rust of the sword. But now they have to practice, So while this is going on, the king is like now completely worried what will happen because he knows what is the situation with his soldiers. They don't even know, they don't even have that stamina to, they are busy chanting Jagannath's name. So then the king stood in front of Jagannath and said, my lord, you have to protect me, So he was praying very deeply to Jagannath. In fact, I'm reminded of a very beautiful bhajan by Surdas. The Surdas says that, तुम मेरी राखो लाज हरी, तुम मेरी राखो लाज हरी, तुम मेरी राखो लाज हरी, तुम जानत सब अंतरयामी, तुम जानत सब अंतरयामी, करनी के चुना करे, तुम मेरी राखो लाज हरी, तुम मेरी राखो लाज हरी. So he said, तुम मेरी राखो लाज हरी. My Lord, please protect my honor. I don't know what to do now. And it's not that you will protect my honor because I'm praying you. You will protect my honor because that's your swabhava. You are so compassionate to your devotees. Karani kichu na kari. It's not that I have done some glorious deeds. That is why you will protect me. It's not that I'm making some business deal with you. That if you protect me, I'll do this for you. It's not a deal. It's just your compassion. And I know you will do that. You will protect me, my Lord. So he was fervently praying to the Lord. So meanwhile now Jagannath and Baladev, they were like, I have to protect now Purushottam Dev. He's been praying. So what they did is, they took a form of two young boys. So the black boy and the white boy on a black horse and a white horse. And they started marching towards the designated place where they're going to have the war even before the designated time for the war. So now there are these two places and there is this, when you go cross country. Now I don't know, you have this toll taxes which you have to pay once you cross the country, or probably you have to show your passport or something like that. So now as they were galloping on the horse, Jagannath and Baladev on the way to the designated war area, now they were almost crossing the Orissa border. So now they were very thirsty because they have been galloping whole day. So there was this one old lady, and those days just like we have some place for, some marts or something in the petrol pump where we can wash or drink. So this lady was there who used to sell buttermilk. So now they went to this lady and said, can we have some buttermilk? We are parched, it's so hot. So she said, yeah, definitely. So she gave one glass to Jagannath and one glass to Baladev. So they both drank, but Jagannath is Jagannath. So one glass of buttermilk, it's not enough. And Baladev is one who is holding the whole universe on his head. So and they said, can we have another glass? So definitely, sure. And then again they said, well, can we have another glass? And then can we have another glass? And they went on, and she was thinking, oh my God, they just look like little young, sweet-looking boys, but look at their appetite. It's, I mean, it's like, like a Kumbhakarna. Then she got so fed up serving them. Then finally she said, well, that's the key to my storeroom. Once you are done, I'll bill you. So I'll just lie down and take rest, and after you are done drinking, I'll just bill you whatever it is. So they just opened the storeroom and drank all the buttermilk that was available. And then finally this lady is like, are you done? Yes, thank you so much, we'll leave. What is thank you so much? You will have to pay for it. Then Jagannath, I'm sorry, what is that? You have to pay for it. No, what does it mean by paying? Because people just offer things to us, they will ask us to pay. So he said that, I mean, like, are you crazy or something? Are you kidding me? You have to pay, gentlemen. You both have drank all the thing I had for maybe days together. The whole storeroom is empty now. You have to pay. And they said, we genuinely, honestly telling you, mother, we don't know what does it mean by paying. We don't have any currency. Then they said, but how can you say that? And he said, well, actually, we are the soldiers of King Purushottam Dev, and we are on our way to the war. And maybe Purushottam Dev can pay for it. Then she said, that's fine, but he said, he's just coming behind us with his army. We are just going in the advance party, just checking how the things are. So she said, well, how do I know that you belong to his army and he will pay for it? So I need some proof. So then Jagannath said, well, I can write it down. So then Jagannath wrote a letter, my dear King Purushottam Dev, on your behalf, me and Baladev are on our way to the designated war place. And if you don't mind, can you play for the buttermilk? And then he signed, Jagannath, I said, but the lady can't, she's illiterate, she can't understand what is written. So she takes it, but she said, well, how do I know, like, give me something valuable. So, Baladev had his, some very valuable jewelry, so he just took it out and said, okay, now are you satisfied? He said, yeah, this is satisfying. So then she waited. And meanwhile, Jagannath and Baladev went there, and the army had already arrived, and they were laughing that, look at Purushottam Dev, we just sent 2 soldiers to fight. So then they said, no, it's not like that. Our king believes in non-violence. He doesn't want that just for small mere argument, the whole army should be killed. So you send the best of your men, and if we can defeat them or they can defeat us, there ends the war. Why should we wait? So then the war happened, not the war exactly, but they sent the best of their men. And of course, Jagannath and Baladev, they just defeated everybody. And the king of Kanchi was shocked that just 2 mere soldiers in Purushottam Dev army can be so strong. What happened to the whole army? And he said, well, I think I agree to this, and we have lost the war. So then finally the Lord, they just disappear. And meanwhile, King of Kanchi brings his daughter and the Ganesha and the deity, the Sakshi Gopal deity, all the deities, and he's just coming towards King Purushottam Dev. And Purushottam Dev is like, Jai Jagannath. He doesn't know, like, he's just telling, because now he's telling his soldiers, dear soldiers, don't be afraid. We will chant Jagannath's name and win the war. And they're talking and moving forward. And meanwhile, the king is coming, and now the Kanchi king is coming more closer and more closer. And he said, don't worry, don't be afraid. We will go, we will win. Then he comes and says, oh, I'm completely impressed. And they're like, is he talking to us? Yeah. I'm completely impressed by your soldiers. Amazing. And he said, really, which one? Impressed about. Oh, the 2 soldiers that you sent. Oh, which 2 soldiers? The advance party 2 soldiers. We are really impressed by them. So we are defeated, and you accept, and here is my daughter, and here is. And meanwhile, the king also passes through the buttermilk lady, who comes running and tells the king, your 2 soldiers have taken. And then he sees Jagannath's signature, and he's like, he's crying and crying. And he says, well, you are so lucky. Well, I have been praying to Jagannath, but I never saw him face to face, and you got the opportunity to serve them. You are so fortunate. So from there on, because Manika means the precious jewelry of Baladev was given to her, so she was called Manika, who got the Manikyam, the precious jewelry. And the king said, wherever your eyes go, all that area, I write it on your name. So that place became Manikapatnam. Even today you go, that Manikapatnam is there. The whole area belongs to that lady. It's given to her. And then finally now the king is happy. He got the Sakshi Gopal deities, he got the Ganesha deities, and now he just put them. Even today, if you go to Jagannath Puri temple, you can see Kanchi Ganesha. You just ask the Panda, where is Kanchipuram Raja's Ganesh? They will show you just behind Jagannath. There is a small temple of Kanchi Ganesha. And then of course Sakshi Gopal went to the other place. Now, what to do with the princess now? So the king said that your father insulted me, saying that I'm a roadside sweeper, and he doesn't want his daughter to get married to a roadside sweeper. So you now get married to a roadside sweeper. That's the right thing for you. I won't get married to you. So he told the minister, take this girl and get her married to some roadside sweeper. The minister said, fine, and took Padmavati, a very beautiful princess, home. Now the minister was very smart because he knows this girl Padmavati is having very good qualifications to be a queen. So he didn't do anything for whole 1 year, and he waited for Rath Yatra to approach. And on the day of Rath Yatra, the king was sweeping. So he said, my dear king, I want to get Padmavati married to the roadside sweeper. So now you can't say no, and then they both got married. So like that, there are so many amazing pastimes of Jagannath. I mean, I could tell you 101, but I don't know what's the time. I don't want to cross the time. What's the time? 8:05. Usually you stop at 8:05, right? I can. You want to? Okay. Either we can have question answer, or I can tell you one Hanuman's pastime. Okay. This one I heard when I was a young girl, with my parents when I first went to Puri. So at that time we were not connected to ISKCON. I was very young. So when we went around, we took a panda, a professional, like a guy who takes us around. So this guy was taking us everywhere around, and he was like, ask whatever you want to ask, you ask, like usually, in South India, you just beat your cheeks, and if I've done anything wrong, forgive me, and then you ask some wish, so we were doing all that. Then finally we came to one Hanumanji, and then he said, but here, please don't ask anything. Well, why? Because he can't hear. Why can't he hear? Then say, oh, you don't know this story? We don't know what happened. Then the Panda told us that because the Jagannath Puri temple is right on the beach, the waves of the beach are so strong and harsh that inside the temple they used to hear like continuously. And I do believe it must be the case because we in Vizag, our temple is also right on the beach, like just across the beach. And in the night, when you're sleeping in the guest house, sometimes you will dream as if the waves are actually coming near to you because it's so close, And especially when we had once a cyclone, a couple of years ago, Hudhud cyclone in Vizag, it was so fearful. There were no lights, everything, and we used to really feel that maybe, the ocean is going to come and swallow us. So then, the pujaris, when they worship the Lord in the altar, they have to chant a certain mantras, and they have to hear it themselves if the pronunciation is happening correctly or not. But because of the waves of the ocean, they were not able to hear anything properly. So they complained to Jagannath, what is this? We can't hear anything. The ocean god makes so much noise, And then, they were looking at Balaramji, and then Balaramji was looking at Jagannath. Why does your father-in-law make so much noise? Now, Lord is the husband of Lakshmi Devi, and Lakshmi Devi comes from the ocean. So, ocean god is like the father-in-law of the Lord. So, the Lord is like, Dharma Sankat. If I say something to father-in-law, wife will be upset. And if I don't say, then my brother and my devotees will be upset. So, I shouldn't be personally interfering in this matter because my wife will be really upset. So he thought maybe I should outsource it to somebody else. So then he said to the pujaris, I think Hanuman can help you with this. So then the pujaris were waiting for Hanumanji one day, mid-afternoon, after the pujas are over. And they actually saw Hanumanji so huge and big walking across. And they were like, Hanuman, is it really you who came to help us? He said, yes, how can I help you? Lord asked me to help you. So, but the only help we require is we don't want this noise of the ocean. Can you do something about it? And Hanuman said, well, very simple. I will personally stand here and I will ingest all the noise of the ocean, and henceforth no noise of the waves will come inside. And Hanumanji did that. He stood there and all the noise of the ocean he took in. And very next day morning, when the pujaris opened the altar, they went for puja, there is absolutely no noise, pin drop. There is no noise, no voice, no sound of the ocean waves, and they were shocked, what is this? And then even till today, many of them are still researching it, that how come when the ocean is so close to the Puri temple, the moment you cross the road and you get up on that building there, you will hear deafening voice of the waves. But the moment you start climbing the steps of Jagannath temple, there is absolutely no song. So then the Panda told us that because he ingested all the voice of the ocean waves, he can't hear. His ears are burnt up. So please don't ask him for any boon because he can't hear. He's simply standing there. So that's a pastime of Hanuman there. And of course, when you go to Puri, if you ask the rickshawala, he'll take you to this very special temple called the Bedi Hanuman. Because what used to happen in the 12th century, the ocean once in a while used to come off inside the temple. So much so that all up to the Jagannath's altar, everything used to be water on the full moon nights, and then again go back. So this became a big nuisance. Every time the water comes out and all. So then they were praying to Jagannath, and Baladev was again angry with Jagannath. What does your father-in-law do that? Jagannath said, poor thing, he just wants to see me once in a while if I'm fine, he just wants to say, how are you, that's all. But this is not the way, you ask him not to come. Then he again asked Hanuman, you have to help me again. So then Hanuman, he started, staying there. And from there on, when they installed the deity of Hanumanji there, the ocean waves stopped coming. Now, when the Hanumanji was actually present there, so once it so happened that even after Hanumanji was there, the water came in, water came in. And the pujaris went and saw there was no Hanumanji there. So they, where did Hanuman go? So then after some time when Hanuman came back, they asked him, what happened, where did you go? He said, actually, I don't like the prasadam in Puri, it's very bland. So once in a while, I just go to Ayodhya and come back. And the pujaris thought, well, this is pretty risky. So then what they did is they actually tied Hanumanji with shackles, that you shouldn't be going anywhere. And from that time, once they tied him, then there's no more the ocean waves coming inside. In fact, now what to do with the father-in-law, because he misses his son-in-law. So then they started making a beach festival where they take the deities, Utsav Vigrahas, on a full moon night on the beach, and they have a whole festival where the ocean god gets to see the Lord, and then they take the Vigraha back, So when you go to Puri, you can actually see that Hanumanji. If you just tell the rickshaw wala, shackled Hanuman, the Bedi Hanuman. Bedi is the shackle, the iron shackles. And you can see Hanumanji, he's tied like this with all these shackles around him. So like that, there are so many amazing pastimes. Okay, I'll tell you one other pastime which is related to the place where I come from, Visakhapatnam. So in Puri, Jagannath is so very compassionate to the Puri pujaris. Am I speaking fast? Okay. So he's so attached to them and he's so lenient to them. So sometimes they'll open at this time, sometimes they'll open at some other time. Like, it doesn't need to happen like systematically how it happens in other temples. Lord is very compassionate. And even the systems that they follow in Puri are a mix of it. It's neither Pancharatrika, it's neither Tantrika, it's like a mix of everything. So when the Sri Sampradaya Guru Ramanujacharya, when he visited Jagannath Puri, he thought, what is this? I need to train the pujaris. This is not the way the worship should be done. It should be done very strictly, very perfectly. So in Puri now, the pujaris are so intimate with Jagannath. For them, Jagannath is not Lord. For them, Jagannath is their own. It's like their son, like their friend. In fact, during the Anavasara period, the pujaris who worship the Jagannath, they're very special. They just worship the Lord only during that 15 days time. They don't even make an offering to the Lord and wait for the offering and then eat it. They make a plate for Jagannath and they also make a plate for themselves and they say, you eat, I eat. They're like a friend with Jagannath, let's eat together, like that kind of, And Ramanujacharya was like, what is this? This is how it happens in temples. So he went to the king and he gave him a whole explanation. Well, actually, this is not the way the puja has to happen. The puja has to happen this way, that way, this way. So then the king said, fine, it goes above my head, but whatever you're saying makes sense. So what should we do? So he said, well, you can ask those pujaris to stop coming from tomorrow and I will take over and my disciples and we will do everything systematically, like with all cleanliness and everything. So the king was very happy. He immediately called the Puri Pandas and told them, well, I think I don't need your services anymore from tomorrow because Ramanujacharya and his disciples are going to take up the service. So tomorrow morning by 9 o'clock, be there in the temple and please hand over the keys and of the Bhandara and the keys of the treasury department and everything to Ramanujacharya disciples. Now they can't say anything because the king is the boss and he makes all the decisions. But the pujaris were crying and crying because they have been worshipping Jagannath from ages and they are so attached to Jagannath. So they went inside the altar and they were fighting with Jagannath. They said, actually Jagannath, it's not that you look black. Actually you are black. Your heart is black. Though you're made up of wood, but I think your heart is made up of stone. You don't even have a heart. You did the same thing with Yashoda. She loved you so much. And one fine day you just walked away. You left her and you went to Mathura to enjoy the parenthood, the love of Devaki and Vasudeva. And you never came back to her. You're so cruel-hearted. You even made Radharani cry for you, and you never went back to Radharani. You did that to the gopis also. Oh, you're so cruel. And you're doing the same thing to us. Why did we even give our hearts to you? We shouldn't have. You're so hard-hearted. Oh, Kaliya, oh, black fellow, now you want to service of different people. You're bored of our service, is it? And they were fighting and fighting with him and crying. But then nothing can be done. So that night, the pujaris, they never slept. They cried the whole night. Next day morning, the time arrived. The pujaris came, Ramanujari disciples came. They're all ready with the keys. The king arrived and now they have to hand over. So now they're all waiting for Ramanujari to come because he has to come and take the keys. But lo and behold, what did the Lord do? In the night when Ramanujari was sleeping, with his bed, Lord shifted him to Visakhapatnam. So there is this very close by, there is one place near to Visakhapatnam, it's called Sri Kurma Kshetra. So the Lord shifted him to Sri Kurma Kshetra. So he's sleeping, and next morning he gets up and he's like, where am I? This is not Puri, where am I? And then he sees, oh, people are worshipping some Shivalinga, is it? So have I come to a Shiva Kshetra, is it? Shall I do fasting? So he goes close by and then he says, well, actually this is not Shiva. Why are they offering Bilva flowers and Om Namah Shivaya? Because then he told the people, and then they saw, yeah, this is not a Shivalinga because it's like this. And then when they did a little bit of digging, they saw, yeah, there are two tiny hands and there are two tiny feet. And that is the Kurma Deva, the tortoise incarnation of the Lord. So he said, this is not Shivalinga, this is Sri Kurma Deva. Then the locals said, oh, is it? We always thought it must be a Shivalinga because it's like this, and we were praying. Then he immediately established and made a temple, had Sri Devi, Bhu Devi, Shakka Chakras, everything established, and he forgot about Jagannath Puri. He got so busy with this. Meanwhile, the king is waiting, and his disciples are waiting, and the king said, well, it looks like Ramanujacharya has changed his mind, so you guys can continue your service, And meanwhile, the disciples of Ramanujacharya said, we will go in search of our Guru, we don't know where he is. Oh, yeah, you can get going. So they went in search of the Guru and they got the service back. So they were so happy. And after that, the king never ever gave the service away to anybody else. And till today, we see them, Puri Pandas, they continue their service. So that's the glories of Jagannath.
Jagannath Baladeshwara Maharani ki Srila Prabhupada ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki.
Anybody has any questions? Anybody want to ask any questions?
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your nice stories. Heartwarming. I wanted to ask, how can we qualify to have such a relationship with Jagannath like you had? We also are in need of a temple, that somehow hadn't happened yet. So what can we do? Do we have some suggestions?
You all are nice devotee. If you together pray, anything is possible. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Sanghe Sakti Kalajave. Congregation is chanting. And you have all so many devotees here. When you together pray, if you want to do something together, it's possible. What Bonaparte says, Napoleon Bonaparte, impossible exists in Fool's Dictionary. So Srila Prabhupada also taught in printing Chaitanya Charitamrita. So impossible is not there. If we together pray, one is not possible. Everything is possible. And Jagannath has come at a nice, beautiful situation. Only thing in time, when Prabhupada was there initially, and he was telling everybody, no, we have so many temples, this and that. One devotee asked question, Prabhupada, you have a visiting card. You said, so many centers all over the world, but we have no centers. He said, time is separating us. So in his visiting card, even before starting ISKCON movement, he had so many written that I am founder of many places. So the devotee says, you said many places, but there is no place. Time is separating us. In due course, Berlin is a very big place, and I think Srila Prabhupada sent some devotee to this place. Prabhupada came here, correct or not?
I heard something that he was on the airport, but maybe not in the...
Alright, but he sent devotee. He sent devotee to this place
Yes.
first. So that means Prabhupada desire, his desire is there. And pure devotee desire means it will be done. There's no question, you should not doubt. What Krishna says, Sansayatma Pranasati. You should not have samsara.
Now with this
No doubt.
point where Prabhuji just now said that where Prabhupada comes or has a desire, it happens.
It will
Prabhupada
happen.
had come to Visakhapatnam in February 1972. Until 1999, we didn't even know there is a place called Visakhapatnam in the Indian map. So 1972 and 1999, it actually happened. Like we went and we started a center, and of course now next year in Dasera we are opening a magnificent temple there. So I feel like sometimes it's like, as Prabhuji rightly said, it's just the time. We need to consistently keep praying, it will happen. Like we see in Dhruva Maharaj, he saw the Lord in 6 months. But we see Pandavas, it took 84 years. And we see Prabhupada, it took a lifetime. Sometimes we just don't know what's Krishna's plan. Maybe we just have to wait patiently and it happens. And I see in Krishna consciousness one thing is, even if we don't do anything extraordinary, if we keep doing the ordinary consistently, it just happens. Because Lord just makes us wait and test us in different way. And if we are still determined to serve Him, and finally the day He gives, it's so much that we can't even take it. I'm just reminded of that small child who's always pestering his mother, I want a chocolate. One day when they went to a supermarket, and now you have this big malls, but in India, you have this like, you have to take a thing, it's not a mall that you can, So this man, he was very friendly, the owner of the shop, and when he saw this little boy, he said, he opened up the glass bottle and he said, yeah, take it, you can take a chocolate. And he was a little bit shy. And then he looked at his mother and said, I'm not charging for it, he can take it if he wants. And the boy was still like, I don't want, Then finally the shopkeeper, he put his own hand and he gave the chocolates to the child. And when they were going back home, his mother asked him, every day you cry, I want chocolate. And this time, why you were being so modest when the uncle was saying, take, why didn't you take? He said, no, my hands are very small. If I take, only one comes out. Because the uncle took it, I got as many. That's why I was waiting patiently. So it's like that, like when we may want this, we may want that. But if we keep on waiting patiently, the day Krishna wants to give, you won't be able to take it also. Everything will just manifest and just happen, and we'll be shocked. Oh, was this your plan, Krishna? You wanted to make it this big in Berlin, so we never know. So we need to just keep trying and not lose hope and consistently keep praying, because anyway Krishna is not sadhana siddha, he is kripa siddha. He will just watch our endeavor, and then finally, just like sometimes a mother, if the baby is like, the mother shows the baby, come on, take it, and the baby is walking and falling. Maybe the baby will never reach the mother, but seeing the endeavor of the baby, the mother will walk up to the baby and say, okay, fine, take it and embrace it. So I've seen the story of all the ISKCON centers around India and all, and I guess every temple has a story to tell. And I tell you, if you don't have any struggle, your temple story will become so boring. We just came and we had everything and we made a temple. It's not interesting. But then we struggled, and there were ups and there were downs, and then finally we had it. That will be so immense pleasure it will give you when finally it will manifest. You'll feel so happy that yes, finally Krishna has. And anyway, temples are not something that happen every day. It's just once in a lifetime, a dream of every devotee. Like Prabhupada was told in the Kumbh Mela by some gentleman that, why are you making temples? There are so many already old and abandoned temples. You can just take care of that. And Prabhupada said, is that your son? Oh yeah, Swamiji is 4-year-old. Why do you have to have your own son? There's so many abandoned children. You could have just adopted one. But he says, Swamiji, he's my son, my blood. I want to have my own son. And Prabhupada said, yes, devotees want to have their own temple. They want to make an endeavor, sweat it out and make an own temple for Krishna. There may be many temples, but that's every devotee's dream, that one day he wants to do something specially for Krishna. And when Krishna gives us that privilege to do something special for him, he's not going to give that privilege to just everybody walking on the road. He's just going to give that to the chosen one. And to become that chosen one, you have to sweat it out. Be patient.
We have to keep patience, tolerance, determination. Usaha, nishcha, dhyaya. So we have to have determination that we want. Somebody have to have very high determination. It doesn't happen just like that. It will happen.
Okay, anybody else? Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for coming, Berlin. And we hope and we pray to Lord Jagannath that this is the first time. It shouldn't be the last time. You should come back again and again to give your association. And we are really sad that we got only this chance, like only for a really short time. Maybe next time we should plan for a bigger event or maybe a week or so. So Mataji,
It depends on the prasadam you offer us today.
Thank you. So Mataji, I just want to ask you and also to Prabhu that King's story you just shared, that he wanted to cut his hand because he did some offense. So my question is, Mataji, we also try to do some little service for the pleasure of Lord, and sometimes also we feel like maybe we have done some mistake, like suddenly that taste in service or that taste in kirtan or like in any seva it's not there. So then like we cannot basically cut our hand and do something like that. So Mataji, what will be your suggestion? Like if this kind of feelings keep coming or when it comes, like what should we do and how should we get out of this kind of feelings?
I think that we shouldn't endeavor to get out of this feeling. To have this feeling is such a privilege. That the fact that we feel, I must have done some mistake, I'm not doing it properly, it's such a privilege. Usually, if we don't have that feeling, it's a problem. I'm not able to remember right now that name, but there was one disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He had kept the fan on in the room, and he had closed the room and left. When Prabhupada was passing by, he saw that there is nobody in the room, but fan is on. So at that time, in the lecture, he came and he told, look at this guy, I'm just forgetting his name, look at this guy, nobody's in the room, but the fan is on, and the room was closed. So everybody was like, looking at him, and then after Prasadam, Prabhupada said, look at this guy, fan was on, and room was closed. And after some time in the garden, they said, look at this guy, fan was on. So Prabhupada kept on telling that one thing, that fan was on, room was closed, nobody was there, look at it. So I got completely frustrated that for one small mistake of mine, I've been told 100 times the same thing and the same thing. So finally he was like, he went to Prabhupada after a few days and said, Prabhupada, I want to leave this movement. Why? Prabhupada, I'm like, I did so much for you, just one mistake that I made and you kept on telling me, I'm feeling very bad that you have been telling like this in front of everybody, you've been continuously telling me, I'm not able to make you happy, I want to leave. Then Prabhupada said, this is a very good attitude. I told it purposely so that you should feel bad. I'm very happy that you felt bad. So he said, if you don't feel bad, that means you're a gone case. So nothing can be done with it. So sometimes in the school also you see teachers, when somebody can be changed, they will work hard behind that child and keep on telling study well. But there are some children, teachers will not tell anything because they're gone case. Nothing can be done, there's no point of wasting our time and energy. We don't want to become a gone case in Krishna consciousness. We want somebody who should be struggling with these feelings, where we feel, I think I didn't do anything wrong, I think I didn't dress properly, I think I didn't do that. And that constant feeling that means we are alive in Krishna consciousness. The day we become dead in Krishna consciousness, there will be no such feeling. We will keep on doing everything mechanically. And there is no feeling, it's over, aarti is over, program is over. But the fact that you feel, I think I didn't do it well, I think I should have done it, that means you are living, you are alive in Krishna consciousness. And that is a privilege. So never ever pray that that feeling should go away. You are fortunate. In fact, if every devotee has that feeling, they will always try to excel and do better, and it will keep us going. Right. That's it. Anybody else have any other questions? If not, then we'll close it. Thank you so much. Jagannath Swami Maharaj ki Srila Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna.
Jagannath Swami ki Jai. Thank you very much, Mataji and Prabhuji, for this wonderful pastimes and inspiration. On behalf of all of us, I will specially request that your prayers will reach to them very fast than us. So our desire of a house for them will be passed through you. So I request you to please pray for on behalf of all of us. And all credit definitely goes to you and Srila Prabhupada and Jagannath Pradesh Buddha.
So your Jagannath is big. So Jagannath wants big temple.
and his bigger devotees like Mataji and Prabhuji can only help us to make it big. So yes, so we will thank Mataji and Prabhuji by loudly chanting once Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This holy name is good. This volume was okay, I think. But this pastimes shared by Mataji will be purifying heart for lifelong and eternally. So we have to be a bit more louder. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much
But
once
in
again.
India, we never do anything 2 times.
Oh, surprise. So yes, my last time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So as Sumit Prabhu mentioned, I would request that please, this was just 1.5 hour. Next time it should be at least 1 week where we can have an association and